Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the VULCAN Report. This is a special edition of the VULCAN Report. I wanted to talk to you briefly about some things that have come to my attention regarding the current economic situation and false flags that could be carried out by suspected terrorists, which would be part of the whole Bilderberg meeting that is taking place, and confirmation that they've decided to go to war with Iran. So this brings into play some sort of a false flag which would bring that about. And we believe that based on the word on the street is that it could be in the form of a nuclear attack. For those of you that are familiar with the TV series Jericho, well, just remember when these shows come out, a lot of times the shows are based on some form of reality or what they would hope to be reality. There was also another thing that came to light last year regarding Operation Blackjack. Now, I believe it's safe to say that whoever made Operation Blackjack might know something. You have to admit it's pretty scary. Look at some of the facts. The TV series Jericho was very similar to this Operation Blackjack, and in my opinion there has to be ties between the two. I believe that the code that was indicated in there was to warn people before the event took place. The Lone Gunman was a pilot that aired in the summer of 2001, in which terrorists crashed passenger jets into the Twin Towers. Okay, so that's a fact. Okay, so this year, as Gerald Celente calls Terror 2010, makes perfect sense. For starters, 9/11/2001 is exactly 911 days in between March 11, 2004, which were the Madrid bombings. Okay, again, 9/11/2001 is 911 days in between March the 11th of 2004, which were the Madrid bombings. Another thing that you can take a look at is that according to some of the hex code in the Operation Blackjack, June the 23rd, 2010, or maybe June 22nd, which is this month, that would be 911 days in between December the 21st, 2012, which some believe is Doomsday. Okay, so the numerology in this is quite interesting. Now, here's another thing regarding Blackjack. 6 plus 2 plus 3 plus 10 equals 21. Blackjack, right? Now, according to, it depends on which time zone you're in. I'm on the East Coast, so it would be just a few minutes after midnight on the morning of June the 22nd of 2010. Now, the Spain 2004 bombings were on March the 11th. Double that month and the day, you get June the 22nd. The London bombings afterwards were on July the 7th, 2005. You double that, 05 year, you get 10. So combined doublings of date and year, you get June 22nd, 2010. So we'll just have to wait and see if anything happens. But it looks like we may have to prepare for some type of a huge event like that. Now we'll get back to the fact that this oil crisis in the Gulf could also be a possible false flag leading up to that event, but we'll cover that in a little bit later. All right, now the hex code that was inside of the skit, whatever you want to call it, the Operation Blackjack website, it translates to: "This is the final warning on this site. All further warnings will be given on blackjack12.info. Beware ardent sentry. Be alert for simians bearing the sun icon. Not all federal authorities are involved." All right. Let's see if we can we can break that down and get more into this. There was an article also. There were several articles that were done on this too, but we'll cover that also. Let's just get into some more of the details and the facts real quick. All right, first fact. All right, and let's see. All right, and 20058, two Russian, I'm messing his name up, Tupolev, Tupolev bombers, Tu-160, caught White Swan by the Russians and Blackjack by NATO, went to Venezuela and stayed a week there. On leave, the two bombers made a reconnaissance flight along the coast of South Africa. Tu-160, or better known as Blackjack, can carry missiles with range of more than 2,000 miles, can fly almost at sea level, and has enormous maneuverability. The world government that is about to be installed cannot be if the USA continues to be, the big kahuna of the world. So to fulfill the plans of the globalists, they will likely start with World War III with attacks inside of the USA. All right, and they could even mention that Russia was to blame for this. Now, all news about the flights of the Blackjacks and the intentions to build bases in Venezuela and Cuba are on the internet. World War III could start this year. If this be the case, then we can assume that the purpose will be to diminish the power of America in the world, so America is the country who would suffer the most given a World War III scenario. Another thing to take a look at is part 1. According to Operation Blackjack, the real false flags could happen this year for the following reasons. First of all, June 20th, 2 p.m. Saturday, MI5 report warns government of imminent terrorist attack. June 21st, 12 p.m. Sunday, 2009, and in 2010 it would be a Monday. Prime Minister makes statement of threat. Okay, the current threat level in the USA would probably be switched to high or orange. Okay, if something like that happened. So that's just something to think about there. These are just little things that we can just focus in on. All right, June 21st at 12 p.m. on the UK site of Operation Blackjack, the threat is supposed to move to critical as far as they're concerned. Now, June 21st at 2 p.m., at a lockup garage in southeast London, a package is loaded into a white van. June 21st, around the same time, people start panicking and loading up on gas and food. June 22nd, 8 a.m., a white van parks near Victoria, London. All right, on the van it says New Dawn Presentations. If you Google that, you'll see New Dawn Mining with the sun symbol. Now, on June the 22nd at 8:03 and 20 seconds a.m., the nuke goes off in London, the Victoria section. Then it says 1 week later and shows Battersea Battle Station, Westminster, and Buckingham Palace. Now, underneath the MI5 symbol, it says Rangum Defende, which means defend the realm, and it has a serpent symbol on there. Now, on part 2, June the 22nd at 8:03 a.m., the nuke goes off in New York City, okay, which is this picture you see here. We're going to get to that also. Then, on the same day, at 8:03 and 27 seconds a.m., a nuke goes off in Toronto. And then at 8:03 and 47 seconds a.m., the nuke goes off in Mexico City. And then 8:03:29 a.m., the nuke goes off in Portland. And then 8:03 and 27 seconds a.m., the nuke goes off in Los Angeles. Now, part 3, one thing to note here is if you type in teardrop in Google, you'll get a music group called The Massive Attack. And they have a new song on there called Teardrop. And it's a group in the UK, and the song was released in 1998. Now, in addition to that, in Operation Blackjack Part 3, Union of North America becomes its own country and wants to find the perpetrators behind